Hey, it's Vanessa, and welcome to a new conversation on energy. This one is going to be about the hybrid healer. So we are going to cover what a hybrid healer is, why hybrid healers are on the rise, and the role that hybrid healers play in the new earth paradigm. So as I share about all of these energy themes and contexts around hybrid healers, definitely would love for you to tune in and see if you are a hybrid healer, and if so, in what ways. So please do share in the comments. I really do love reading everything that my cat is like a shark swimming around me right now. So if I burst out in spontaneous laughter, that is why. But this is about take 500 on this because of my cat. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it in at this point. Apparently he might be a hybrid healer. Okay, so welcome for those of you that are new or returning. I'm really glad that you're here tuning in, and please do like, comment, subscribe, click to get notifications, share with your friends, all that good social media stuff that gets us out to more of my people. I really do appreciate that, so thank you. And just briefly announcing that the Energy Guide program is starting very soon on May 1st. If you happen to be seeing this video when it comes out, though enrollment will be open for the month of May, I would love for you to actually get in when it starts, because we are meeting up on May 1st. But the reason I wanted to share about this, I know I share about it in many of the recordings that I've been doing, but that's because as a healer, it's going to be especially important to really expand your awareness and your skill set around navigating energy. There's a lot of energetic shifts that are going on right now within our individual systems as well as within the collective. And so those that are seeking healers are going to want to have a broader context of understanding. They're going to want to know, like, how do I navigate these energies that are coming up in me? And so whatever your expertise or training or gifts are as a healer, you being able to hold a broader conversation and facilitate, this sort of expanded consciousness or expanded awareness around energy is going to be, a high desire of those that seek you out. And so that's one of the solutions that the Energy Guide program provides for you, is it really gives you a very in-depth context for everything that's going on individually and collectively. And this is going to, I want to say, continue to happen in a very big amplified type of way, where we are really going to need to know how to navigate life from an energetic perspective, to distinguish intuition from fear, fact from fiction, what's actually standing in front of us, because energy doesn't lie. And to be able to know how to read energy, heal with energy, and guide others via energy, even if you don't do it professionally, but within the context of your friends or your family, is going to be very invaluable. So again, vasmith.com/energy-guide. All right, with that, I'm going to jump into the first piece, which is the most obvious, is what is a hybrid healer? So there's three main ways that I define that, though as I'm saying that, I feel like there's a little fourth one that's popping up that I want to add to the mix. The first one is the most obvious. This is the multi-modality healer. So this is a healer that isn't just well practiced or gifted in one particular way of healing. I'm going to back up. Let me define healer for you, because we all have a different perspective, and then we'll get into the hybrid healer. A healer is someone that facilitates transformation. That's how I define a healer. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. We all have the ability to heal others. It's part of our birthright. It's part of how we're wired. It's the direction in which we are headed. It's innate to us to have that self-healing capacity. And we are needing to actually be intentionally activating that within our system right now. It is being activated within our system right now, meaning we are getting more, we're getting more familiar with our innate ability to heal and to know the body as like this incredible healing temple that we exist within, that knows what to do, that knows how to heal, right? And so so we are all healers, and we are all being called into knowing how to use our natural healing abilities. That being said, healers that have a specific expertise or a gift or training or skills in a particular modality that can facilitate transformation is also highly important, because though we can, quote, do it ourselves, we're meant to heal in community. We're meant to heal with the support of others. And sometimes we need help outside of ourselves, right? We need someone that has a certain expertise. And that's how it works. We're not meant to know everything. We're not meant to have access to a bajillion things going on all at the same time. But what our highly attuned system does is it guides us to the right people that can help facilitate the transformation that we're needing right now. And healers play an incredibly pivotal, purposeful role in the world right now for many, many different reasons. That's just like a healer topic in general, but I needed to back up for a minute and give you kind of an overview of how I'm holding and defining a healer. So to now get to the hybrid healer, one way I define that is a healer that knows many different modalities. They're multimodal, right? So maybe they have training as a naturopathic doctor and a background in Reiki, and they're also a massage therapist, right? There's many different ways in which they use different modalities or different methodologies of healing. And so they hybrid, they put them all together, integrate them all into one unique offering. So they're they have multi modalities. I would say almost across the board, the majority of all of my clients, because my clients are really the transformational healers, teachers, and messengers, that they're almost all hybrids. And it's fascinating to me because they have a really unique combination of skills and gifts that they get to, like, together in our work, we get to weave together. How are they going to present their unique offering to the world, right? And I find that personally fascinating. I think each person has just such a unique flavor. So the first way to define a hybrid healer is multimodality. The second way that I define a hybrid healer is they're multifaceted, meaning they're a healer and they do other things in the world. So this is like they're a healer and they're a banker and they're in a band. I used to live in Portland, Oregon, where they used, I can't speak for it because I haven't been there for quite a long time, but when I lived there, it was jokingly known as the place where young people go to retire, or just everybody I met was a very unique combination of many different things. They worked at the grocery store, then they were also an accountant, and they were also, a massage therapist or whatever it was. So the multifaceted hybrid healer is really somebody that is operating in a variety of different worlds, right? So they maybe on the side, they do, they're in a band, and on the side they do their healing work or whatever it is. There's a unique combination that isn't all under that umbrella of the healing realm. They do these other things as well. And what I find really cool about that type of hybrid healer is that the perspectives and the experiences that they have in the world outside of healing paired with the experiences that they have inside the realm of healing, the way that they interplay together makes it just for interesting life experience, conversations. It's like, you know, anything can be a metaphor for anything. And so what they go through as a banker or, you know, whatever, in a band, whatever it is, as a grocery store clerk, and then they bring that into their healing sessions, or the healing part of them comes out in those other ways. It just makes for a richer dynamic experience with everybody that they interact with. And so I wanted to bring that perspective because I feel like I've talked with a number of people who have like their healing as their side hustle, or they're doing this other work, or maybe they don't even see themselves fully as a healer, even though they're studying, you know, different healing modalities. I just like to plant the seed that that's a really cool way to be a hybrid healer, and it's only going to enrich your life and the life of everybody around you. So rather than like, you're not doing enough, or you're so weird because you live in both worlds or whatever, which is very judgmental. Humans are so like self-judging and like judging other types of creatures, but the more healing work you do, the less judgmental you are, I will tell you that. And then another type of hybrid healer is the new to the game healer. So there's a huge, I'm going to get into like why these types are rising, these hybrid healer types are rising, but there's a big rise in people wanting to learn more about healing. And so these are the folks, the hybrid healers that all of a sudden they're sensing energy, and this is totally new to them, and they don't know why it's happening, but they feel compelled to do something about it. Or they've been in corporate most of their life, and you know, whether they're burnt out or not, they're all of a sudden like getting a high interest in the wellness programs that the corporate places offer. Admittedly, I've never worked for a corporate, so, but I know some people that have. I just am not wired in that way. I've just mostly always, well, I haven't always worked for myself, but I've never had a more corporate traditional kind of job. And so there's a huge movement of people moving out of that corporate type of environment and into doing healing work. I've met so many people actually that are doing exactly that. And so they are a hybrid healer because they're very much, you know, feeling an activation within their own system of wanting to learn more about healing, or perhaps they've had a health crisis that didn't get addressed properly with mainstream medicine. So they're exploring some alternatives, or they're feeling, and just FYI, heads up, this is another reason why I do my energy guide program. Our hands are being activated right now. Your hands are healers. And if you're familiar with the light, well, in old school terms, it's the chakra system, which I have things I could say about that, but I talk about it as the light centers. And part of the new activation areas of our energy system are happening in our hands. This is happening collectively. So you may be feeling more sensations in the palms of your hands right now. You may notice that when you walk by somebody that you sense needs healing, your hands will start to get warm, just even without you doing anything around it. Our hands are being activated right now. I'm kind of going into I'm jumping ahead of myself and getting into like, why is there a rise of hybrid healers? And part of that reason is because our systems are being activated. So we can really be more in the fullness of what we're actually capable of and who we actually are, which is we are innate healers of ourselves and of others. It's like, it's part of the community give. It's part of how we are meant to exist, is we notice when something is off. It's like, it's so weird to me. It always has been, where you walk through the world and you can sense when somebody is suffering, but especially if, you know, they're homeless, or just, you know, you can tell, can you not tell? You can tell. I've always been able to tell. I grew up in the Bay Area, so there was a lot of that kind of energy there, and I know it's in many places now, and you can tell whether they're homeless or whether they're feeling stuck in a corporate job, or like whatever the deal is. You know, when people are off, we're not supposed to be ignoring them. What? I mean, yes, be responsible. Obviously, you're not out there to save everybody. That's nobody's individual job here, you know, but we're meant to be supporting each other. We're meant to be sharing these healing gifts that are naturally moving through our system with others. Like we're supposed to be elevating each other. It doesn't seem like that difficult of a concept, but I understand when people are, when you're feeling your own stress, helping other people doesn't seem like the first thing you're going to do. And so part of the rise of hybrid healers and healers in general is because we are quite literally moving into a new paradigm where we help each other. It's like, duh. It's such a duh to me. But again, I grew up in the activist Bay Area where this was very, and I grew up in an activist type of household. So this is more of of course we do that. Why wouldn't we do that? But to be able to step into that mode and be able to discern who to help, when to help, how to help, all of these different pieces, is you really do need to know your own system. You need to know how to navigate energy. You need to know your own healing gifts, right? Like if you're going to help in that healer type of capacity. Anyway, that was a bit of a side tangent, but to go back to the rise of, or what is a hybrid healer? Another type of hybrid healer is those that are awakening to the healing gifts that they have innately in their system. And so they may feel that sensation or that heat happening in their hands. They may feel sensation or heat or an experience around their heart. They may feel more emotional. So that's a new type of hybrid healer that's rising, because as our energy systems change, we are more aware of and in touch with these aspects of ourselves that know we're meant to be elevating each other, right? And so that energy is going to be running through our system of and thinking in very new and innovative ways. How can we do that? How can we elevate each other? Because clearly the system isn't doing that. Clearly the system is part of the problem, and we're going to be ignoring this breaking down system and creating a new system, right? So again, if you're new to my channel, I talk about the paradigm shift, which is what we're in the middle of right now. And we are in between an old system that's breaking down and a new system that is breaking through. And you have a purpose role within all of that. It could be in the form of like specific work that you do, or it could not. But there is a role, an energy role that you are here to play in this paradigm shift, in the creation and the build of the new. And owning your healing gifts is part of that. It's part of that. It's the consciousness shift. It's the spiritual awakening. It's the, really honoring and respecting and taking such good care of your body. And it's the activation of these healing gifts. This is what's meant to be foundational aspects of the new paradigm. And that's what I speak on here. Okay, so let's go into these types of healers. Okay, actually, no, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna add this fourth type because it's sitting there. The fourth type of hybrid healer are for those of you that have been, whether you've been doing healing work, it tends to happen a little bit more for those of you that have been doing healing work for a while. But if you haven't, if you're new to the game, it may well happen to you as well, where you have you're more in touch with your soul lineage, meaning you may remember your past lives as a healer. You may remember your starseed heritage. You may remember just essentially more of your multi-dimensional self. And as you bring that to this concentrated focus, little slice of the pie of you as a human, which is just one expression of you as a soul, right? Your soul has a cute little human, and and you are more than just this experience. But as you focus your energy and attention in this experience, while you're in touch with this multi-dimensional, much sort of larger aspect of who you truly are, you then begin to activate your healing abilities naturally. Right? It just automatically happens. And so that is the next type of the hybrid healer that's emerging, is one that's deeply in touch with these other soul lineage aspects of you, whether it's past lives or starseed or all of that. I don't get into too much of that on my channel. I know in great depth about all of it, but I get at this point that it's my job to more talk about the build of the new paradigm, recognizing your role in that, how to navigate energy in the process of that, and optimize your vitality along the way. That's where I tend to stay, and I get a little more woo with those that I work with one-on-one, or those that I work with in my groups. But that is available if you are wanting to do more woo. At some point, I may speak more on those things, but not right now. All right, so going into the rising of the hybrid healers. Why is this rising? Why are we seeing more hybrid healers happening, no matter what type you are? What's going on? And I've spoke a little bit around this before, but part of it is because the energy system shift that's going on within our system right now is we're meant to, it's happening for us collectively. Sorry, I just got a little flubby on my words there. But essentially, as a collective, our energy systems are shifting right now in multiple different ways. Our hands are being activated, our heart is being expanded, the chakras are going to the light centers. Like, we are quite literally turning into energetically speaking, crystalline structures, as a way to be able to filter the light that moves through us out into the world in a more clean and integrity rich kind of way. And so as all of these changes are going on in our system, again, this is why I'm doing the energy guide program. This is one of the key things that we talk about in there. As we're doing that, we're meant to operate differently in the world. And so there's a lot of hybrid healers that are rising right now, because many people as part of the collective are going through the shift and are going like, what is happening? What's going on? How do I navigate this? And so there is going to be a great need for hybrid healers to be able to help those that this is completely new to, like what to do about it, how to work with it. And so that's one of the reasons why hybrid healers are on the rise. Also, the other reason, if I look down, I'm just checking, look at all those notes. Another reason why hybrid healers are on the rise is because we are also moving into a time collectively where it's highly essential that we are operating more within our unique design. And when I say design, I mean your soul blueprint. Your soul made a plan, little on a scroll. No, it looks like a scroll to me, though. Seriously, looks like a blueprint of your life experience. You can look at it through the lens of astrology, human design, and gene keys. There's probably other ways to look at it, but those are the ways that I geek out on. I just like to learn about them. No affiliation. It's interesting to me. But so we all have our own unique design, and we're meant to be living in conscious alignment and expression of that design. And as we do that, more hybrid healers will rise, because they're getting to know, oh, I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and this is more like me, and this is more like me. And so it's like this beautiful gem that is emerging like from within us, where we're just being more authentically true to ourselves. And it's okay. It's all okay. It's actually what we're supposed to be doing. And as we do that, hybrid healers will rise, because as we went over the different types that they are, the more we're in alignment with our design in a very conscious kind of way, we realize like, oh, we're a hybrid of many different factors at play. And this is who I am. I am an artist, and I'm also a healer, and I'm also a musician, and I'm also a gardener, whatever it is. And so the more that we are committed to knowing our design and learning about it and expressing that, embodying that in the world, the more we will naturally become hybrid healers, because it's just a part of who we are. And then the other reason why the hybrid healers are on the rise is because again, we're in between worlds. We're actually existing in both. It's an interesting time. It's a paradox, right? Life's a paradox. We are in between worlds, and we're also existing in both worlds. You could call it old Earth, new Earth, old paradigm, new paradigm, 3D, 5D. You know, there's many different ways to characterize it, but essentially, because of that, the nature of this time, between and in this overlay of these two very distinct ways of being, these two distinct ways of living and moving and operating in the world, it's going to require us to operate in new ways, to show up in new ways, to be new versions of ourselves. We're going to need to continually adapt. And so the hybrid healer within us is part of that, I want to say, internal support system that allows us to be able to navigate this time, to navigate our awakening as a collective, as a consciousness, as a species, as, you know, this, it's just a really unique time to be alive. And there's a lot of challenges with it, and there's a lot of blessings with it. It's always both. It's a both and kind of world. And so as our healing abilities really get activated, then it helps us to navigate that. So that's another reason why hybrid healers are on the rise. Now we're going to move into the very last piece, which has to do with the role that hybrid healers play. So I've touched on this throughout this conversation, but I would just want to get a little more specific with you. One of the reasons why the role is so important of hybrid healers is because they are quite literally the replacement, the adjunct and replacement. They're both the adjunct and replacement of the mainstream healthcare system. Because whether you're looking at that from a holistic perspective, an economic perspective, a political perspective, there's many different ways to look at the mainstream healthcare system, but what we know is that and there are some very valuable aspects to it. So before you think I'm just a basher of anything mainstream, I am not. Like, there are some beneficial aspects to it. I'm not going to get into that right now, but you know, there are some pieces of the old world that and some innovative ways that we can take what's currently being worked on and you know, kind of move it into a more holistic way, move it into a more like true healing kind of way. But anyway, the hybrid healers are meant to replace, to be an adjunct and replace the mainstream healthcare system, whether that's via a wellness center, whether that's an integrative health center, whether that's a one-on-one, whether it's group work, like that can take many, many different forms. But we're literally in a paradigm shift. A paradigm is a model. We're looking to create a new model, right? Like, I'm originally American, though I don't live there anymore. And for people needing to start GoFundMe so they can pay for their medical care, like what? Like, so from an economic perspective, it doesn't work. I know I've got many, many stories I could tell you about my, you know, trials with the mainstream medical system, and also many of the ways that it was very, very helpful for me. But then I'm going to make this a very long video, so I'll share that for another time. But I come from it as a not anti whatever, but really from a more energetic and evaluation perspective of like what really works and what doesn't. And yeah, again, I have many thoughts on that, but I want to keep it close to the hybrid healers for this conversation. So that's one of the reasons why what their role is in this paradigm shift. The role of hybrid healers is also to become teachers and messengers, right? So their role is not just to facilitate the transformation, but to also talk about what it is that they're doing. like because as they do that in that transmission, all of our language is coded with energy, code, CODE. It's got code in there, energetic code. And so whenever we speak, we're quite literally filling the space around us, between us and other people, with a particular energy. And so the hybrid healers are also meant to be the teachers and the messengers of whatever modalities that they are working with, as a way to change the energetic structuring of the healing experience and how we perceive reality. So that's another role that hybrid healers play. Another role that they play is also to restore wholeness. So healers very much act as a bridge between worlds, between spirit and human form, between this sense of like, as if we're separate from nature and nature, right? They bring wholeness where we realize like, oh, we are nature. We're an extension. Oh, duh. So that's another way that they support. So they're very much like, they play the role of a bridge between these what seem to be separate worlds. Another role that they play is because they are having the experience of working with healing modalities, working with healing energies, facilitating transformation, doing this from multiple different modalities. Because they're doing all of that, they are also in the role of innovator and collaborator. So in order to build something new, right, it's a team effort, and we all have our own unique part of the puzzle, piece of the puzzle that we bring through our unique design and our specialties and our gifts. And so the new paradigm requires all of us to be active creators, conscious participants in it. And this is a time about owning your role in that. And as seen as though we are all here with our healing abilities becoming activated in our system, we're meant to use it in these ways. As an innovator, as a collaborator, as a teacher, as a messenger, as a bridge between worlds, as an adjunct or replacement of whatever healthcare system there is, right? These are all the different roles that the hybrid healer plays. Do you see how cool that is? I think that's so cool. I hadn't thought about it in those ways before. And so I'm actually really grateful that I decided to record this, because I have much more regard. Well, I did before, but now to bring it conscious and put it in this framework is kind of like, it's nice. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to end the conversation there. And thank you so much for tuning in to this. I would love to hear, are you a hybrid healer? What do you think your healing gifts are? Have you studied your design? What pops out to you about your design and some of what you're here to create and express in the world? So please do share in the comments. And if you happen to be listening to this on the Check the Energy podcast and it's just the audio version, you can go over to my YouTube channel, which is Vanessa Smith Energy Guidance, and comment there. But with that, wishing you well. Again, please do like, share, subscribe, click to get notifications, all that good social media stuff, so this gets out to more of my people. And I will be back again soon with another conversation on energy. Take care.